everybody. My name is Frances. Thank you for that introduction, Dennis. And just to say that Lynn actually isn't with us this afternoon. She's been called away to a meeting. And instead we have Sharon Conlon, who is the future nurse, future midwife, professional officer linked to Lynn's workstream, and she's going to be doing the presentation. So, the purpose of our session, and Glynis has alluded to in her introduction, is to really give an overview of where we are in terms of the implementation of Future Nurse, Future Midwife in Northern Ireland. And I suppose, to be fair, our story started, or our journey started in March of last year, when the Chief Nursing Officer held a stakeholder event in Malone House. And at that event, there was 3 things agreed. One, that we would have regional implementation of the education standards, a similar process and model that we used for revalidation. 2, that we would have a single practice assessment document that would be used by the 3 universities, that would be used across the fields of practice, and in fact that we would think and look at using it for midwifery as well, at least the structure for the practice assessment document. And that we would have a go-live date from 2020. So those 3 things were agreed on that day with the key stakeholders, and as a result of that, the Chief Nursing Officer asked NIPEC to take forward the piece of work, and as a result, I was asked to be the project lead, and a programme board was established. So this slide presents the infrastructure that has been put in place to support the implementation of Future Nurse, Future Midwife. So CNO established a programme board, and that board met for its first time in June of 2019. There's representation on that from senior colleagues from across all the key stakeholders, including our AAIs, HSC trusts, the independent sector, etc., etc. Anybody that we felt needed to be around the table is represented on that on the board. The board has links with the NMC, and we also have links with the other countries, so we keep very much abreast with what's happening in the other countries in terms of their implementation of Future Nurse, Future Midwife. So the programme board met for the first time in June, and a project plan was commenced and drawn up, and a programme board was then established, which met for the first time in September 2019. The programme board membership reflects really the membership of the programme board, and as a result of the project plan and working between the programme board and the working group, a number of work streams were identified as being key to taking forward the implementation of the new standards. And those work streams are curriculum development, practice assessment document, the development of a single practice assessment document, a work stream around supervision and assessment, a work stream around practice placements, and then a work stream around engagement and communication. And I'm going to go into those in a little bit more detail later on, but just to say those were the 5 work streams that were identified. At the time of seeking to set up the infrastructure through transformation funding, we were actually able to source funding for 6 half-time 8A posts, which has been absolutely fabulous in terms of taking forward the work. And as a result, we have 5 half-time 8A posts, professional officers for Future Nurse, Future Midwife in each of the trusts, and we also intend having one for the independent sector to work with the independent sector and primary care. So the work streams were established. Just in terms of the programme board, the programme board is chaired by Professor Charlotte McCardle and Andrew Dawson, Workforce Policy Director for Northern Ireland. And the aim of the programme board is to oversee the arrangements to cohesively embed the outworkings of the new Future Nurse, Future Midwife education standards in Northern Ireland. The working group, and this is our governance arrangements, then our working group reports to the programme board, and as I've said, reflects the membership of the programme board, and is constituted from core members with other expert advice, opinion and support co-opted into the team as and when required. So the 5 work streams then that were established were curriculum development, and for each of the work streams we have co-chairs, which is taking forward the pieces of work. And I suppose it would be, in terms of our conversations today and what we've been hearing from the stage, the whole concept of co-production. And this piece of work is true co-production, as in the co-chairs come from across the different organisations who are involved in implementing and taking forward the standards in Northern Ireland. So for curriculum development, the co-chairs are myself and Heather Findlay, and we have a professional officer linked to our work stream, which is Kerry McLaren, and Kerry's here today. Kerry? Where are you, Kerry? Okay, so Kerry is a professional officer, future nurse, future midwife, and Kerry is based in the Northern Trust. So the aim of curriculum development was to ensure, or is to ensure, that the 2020 curricula across the 4 fields of practice and midwifery reflects strategic policies and the Northern Ireland Transformation Agenda. That's our primary aim of that work stream. The second work stream then is around the development of the practice assessment document, and the co-chairs are Dr. Neil Cook from the Ulster University and Cathy Fody from the PHA. And the professional officer linked to that piece of work is Lynn McKeown, and Lynn is here today. And Lynn works in the Belfast Trust, so she's our professional officer for the Belfast Trust for Future Nurse, Future Midwife. Our third work stream then is around supervision and assessment, and this is around implementing the new standards for student supervision and assessment. The co-chairs are Dr. Karen McCutcheon, who's with us today, is going to talk to that later on, and the other co-chair of that group is Claire Marie Dixon from South Eastern Trust, and Claire was on the stage earlier on around the nursing assistant piece. The professional officer linked to that work stream is Joanne Fitzsimons. Joanne, where are you? Yes. So, Joanne is linked to that work stream and is a professional officer for the South Eastern Trust. And then we have our practice placement work stream, and the co-chairs of the practice placement work stream, which aims to maximise practice learning opportunities, is Donna Gallagher from the OU and Lynn Wilsley, who was hoping to be with us here this afternoon from the Southern Trust. And the professional officer linked to that work stream is Sharon, who's behind me, and she's going to actually deliver Lynn's presentation very shortly. And then the final work stream is around engagement and communication, and the aim of that work stream is to deliver effective communication which supports the implementation of the Future Nurse, Future Midwife Education NMC standards. And we have started that process. And I'm just wondering, before today and people hearing from the NMC and talking about the standards, had most of you heard about the new standards? Have you seen our leaflet? Hopefully you have. That'll be testament to that the news and the information is getting out. This is in your pack, and also the little fold-up leaflet is in your pack as well, and that's all part of our engagement and communication. So there are 2 work streams that I very briefly want to talk about before I hand over to my colleagues. And the first one is around the curriculum development. So myself and Heather Findlay are chairing this piece of this work stream. And it was a request from the programme board that we would ensure that the pre-registration Nursing and Midwifery 2020 curriculum reflects Northern Ireland strategic policies and the Northern Ireland transformation agendas. And this is not about curriculum planning. It was more about making sure and sense checking that the curriculum that the universities are going forward with actually reflects our direction of travel here in Northern Ireland. So the way that we have actually done this, and the request was to do this across the 4 fields of practice and midwifery whenever we get a new midwifery curriculum. So the way we have done this is we have hosted curriculum development events with already established field-specific forums. So for example, we have linked in with the Children's Nurses Network in terms of the new curriculum for children's nursing. We've linked in with the Northern Ireland Collaborative for Learning Disabilities Nursing around the new Learning Disabilities curriculum. And we've linked in with the Mental Health and Nursing Review that's been taken forward by Rodney Morton at the department. And it was really a sense check with people who we I suppose we're recognising as experts in their fields of practice to make sure that they felt the curriculum actually was going in the right direction and was reflecting what was happening and in practice now and into the future. It was really an opportunity as well for people, you know, through the curriculum planning process. Obviously the universities have been engaging with people in practice. However, the feedback from the forum members to us was it was really a good opportunity to hear firsthand what was in the curriculum, and they really valued that opportunity, and it was very well received. And there was and has been some feedback to the universities in terms of content and what needed to be included. And I suppose, Geraldine, just to reflect your conversation earlier on, the thing that really has come out of those sessions is that there needs to be some more work done around the levels in terms of the annexes and the, you know, what level is required for the different fields of practice and what that will look like, and we need to do some work around that. And the other piece that came out was around the needs and the CPD needs of the current workforce, which you alluded to as well. So we've, as I said, we've engaged with the Children's Nurses Network, the Northern Ireland Collaborative. We're engaging with, we've already had a meeting with, in terms of mental health nursing, but we have more actually a meeting just next week again about that. We have an event planned for adult nursing, and we will do the same for midwifery when that comes around, when the curriculum has been developed. So that is the curriculum development work stream, and we expect to have drop a report after the 3rd of April when we have our adult event, and linking then with our post-reg education provider CEC in terms of what the requirements and what we should be thinking about in terms of CPD going forward. And then the other work stream I want to talk about, simply because Brendan is not here today and wasn't able to be with us. And I have said I would talk to this piece. So the engagement and communication work stream, the chair is Brendan McGrath, and he has been ably supported by our future nurse, future midwife, professional officer, Carol McGinn, and Carol is with us today as well. Yes, Carol's here. So Carol is the professional officer for the Western Trust. And the aim of this workstream to deliver effective communication that is accurate, timely, relevant and reliable through a range of formats. And I have to say we have developed a very comprehensive engagement and communication strategy. As a result of that, you know, we have developed a web page on the NIPEC website. And just this week, actually, we've got a tile on the front page where you actually don't have to go through the website. You just hit the tile and we'll actually bring you straight in through the web page. That web page has all the information around what's going on in terms of meetings, and there are a lot of them, around Future Nurse and Future Midwife. It also gives you links onto the NMC website. It also gives you links to webinars that have been ongoing, and there's recordings there that you can actually access on our website. We have our communiques, and those will be going out on a regular basis. Probably every 2 months we'll be sending those out. We've developed a QR code, which is down there on the corner, and this is our new thing for the younger generations. We have our QR code, we have Twitter chats. We had our first Twitter chat on the 24th of January. It was my first Twitter chat, not Neil's. Some learning, but it was actually very well supported, and the transcripts of that are available. And we have our Facebook activity as well. So there are a lot of other things we want to do. We want to develop podcasts. We want to link with other organisations to put up, you know, maybe information slides, for example, in CEC for people who are going along to courses, to tell them about Future Nurse, Future Midwife. We know that there is some information getting out. There's a lot of people, though, who are not aware that this is coming, and we need, and we're well aware we need to ramp up our information and activity around that. Now, can I say the professional officers, their photographs are on this slide because they are key people within the trust organisations in terms of communicating information. Yes, they're linked to work streams, but they also have an overview of what's going on in all the activity around a Future Nurse, Future Midwife. They are your conduit, so if there's something in the trust that you want information about, they're your first port of call. However, I am in NIPEC, I'm the project lead. You want to contact me, absolutely no problem. contact me via the website, contact me in NIPEC. There's absolutely no problem with that. Before I hand over to my colleagues, I just want to say thank you for the amount of people, the amount of meetings that we've had, the amount of workshops we've had, the demand that must have put on the service. We were delighted with the response to all the workshops that we held, and it really has given us really valuable information in terms of thinking about how we're going to take forward the standards and just getting your views and opinions. So it's really informed our whole thinking. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Neil, who's the co-chair of the piece around the development of the practice assessment document. So Neil.